Okay, I think we are live, guys. Welcome back with my channel. So this is my first live in my channel, guys. So going forward, I will be doing lots of live session in this particular channel. So I think you saw that I already announced I'm going to
Okay, I
start
think
one.
we are live,
Just a
guys.
minute. Welcome back. Yeah, so I think you saw that I have already announced I'm going to start one amazing live playlist called MLOPs Production Grade Machine Learning Project. So there we'll be implementing the entire pipeline of a machine learning project. We'll see the deployment and all, and we'll see that how we can efficiently manage that particular pipeline. So as I already told you, this is my first live, guys, in my channel. So if there is any technical issue, you can let me know. I'll just try to improve this particular quality. Okay. And if you have any suggestion, you can let me know, guys. I'll try to rectify in the next session. So hi everyone. Good evening. I think you can hear me. You can see me, guys. Just let me know in the chat. Just please give me a confirmation if my voice is audible, guys. You can see me. You can hear me. Before starting with the session, I just need a confirmation if everything is fine from my side or not. Let me know, guys, if I'm audible. Just let me see. Session, I just need a confirmation. Okay, fine. I think, guys, I'm audible and I think I'm also visible. Everyone can see me. Everyone can hear me. So now, let's start with our session. Let's start with our agenda for today. Yeah. So hi. Good evening. Good evening, Sumit. Good evening, Momita. Yeah, thanks for the confirmation, guys. Great. Okay. All right, guys. So let's start with our session. But before that, I just wanted to, tell you one request. So please try to subscribe to my channel and try to share this particular content with your friends and family so that they can also get to know this kinds of community series is going on. So they can also get the opportunity to learn this particular topic. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so everything would be beginner friendly. If you don't know this particular end-to-end implementation, it's completely fine, but definitely there would be some prerequisite for this particular series. I'll tell you what are the prerequisite are required. If you are like ready with this particular prerequisite, definitely you can implement this particular project with me. Okay. Yeah. So now, guys, you can see, first of all, before starting with the session, I just wanted to tell you where you will get this particular resources and this particular video, right? So if you just go to my YouTube channel, guys, this is my YouTube channel, DSwithBappy. If you just search with this particular name, you will get my channel, and just go to the playlist section. So inside playlist section, I have created one playlist called MLOps Production Ready Machine Learning Project. So this is my playlist, guys. So now just click on this particular view playlist option. So going forward, whatever session I'll be taking, everything would be available in this particular playlist. And all the resources actually I'll be sharing in this particular session, everything would be available in the description of the video. So let's say this is my session for today, right? So this particular live is going on today. So after the session, what I will do, I'll just try to edit here. So in this particular description section, this particular code would be available. Okay, apart from that, I will also share my GitHub repository with you so that you can also get that particular code from this particular repository itself. Okay, but for the future reference, what I can do, I can update this particular link here in the description section so that if anyone is watching this particular video after, let's say, 6 months or 1 year, they can also get this particular code from here only, right? Yeah, so now what I can do, guys, let me close this particular window, and now let me just write down the agenda. Let me just write down the like topic today I'll be covering, and I'll also write down the prerequisite for this particular series, like what are the things you have to know, okay, before starting with this particular project. Then I'll start with the session. So if everything is fine, guys, just give me a quick thumbs up in the chat so that I can start with, I can get a confirmation. Please let me know. Kubernetes, Kubeflow, I'll be also covering in future, but I'll be starting with very basics project first of all. Okay, Tabish. First of all, let me start with the basics project, then I'll go to till advanced part, because there are so many people they don't know about these particular things, right? So first of all, let's complete the basics first, then I'll go to the advanced part. No need to worry, each and everything I'll try to cover here. Okay. Yeah. So please give me a quick thumbs up, guys. Any kinds of emojis you can fire up in the chat so that I can get a confirmation if you're ready, guys. Okay, great. So let me launch my Blackboard and let me just write down the agenda. Okay. Yeah. So here we're starting with a playlist called MLOPs, production ready ML project. Okay. ML project. That means machine learning project. Fine. So here, first of all, I just wanted to tell you the prerequisite. Okay. Prerequisite for this particular course. That means this particular series actually, prerequisite. So here I'm expecting you are familiar with Python programming language. Let me know, guys, yes or no. Are you familiar with Python programming language? I'm expecting you are familiar with till OOP concept. That means object oriented programming. Let me know. If yes, just write down yes in the chat. Otherwise, you can write down no in the chat. Because definitely, if you want to learn end-to-end implementation, production ready project, so you should familiar with advance of Python. Okay. Yeah. Then second thing, I'm expecting you are familiar with basics of machine learning. Okay, basic of machine learning. Machine learning, definitely it is required, because without machine learning, you can't understand this particular concept. Okay, what is happening inside that. So inside machine learning, there are some actually topic you will get. I think you already know. So we are having something called regression. Regression. Okay, regression task we are having. Then we are having something called classification. Classification task we are having. Then we are having also something called clustering. Okay, clustering task. So here I don't need this particular regression and clustering, because here I'm going to solve one classification problem statement. Okay. And if you can solve classification problem statement, you can also solve regression problem statement. You can also solve clustering problem statement. Okay. The pipeline will remain same. Only the concept will be different. Like whenever I'm doing the classification problem statement. Okay. So what is classification exactly? Classification means it's a yes or no. Okay. Yes or no. Or it's a, let's say, it's kinds of categorical. Okay, categorical target value we are having. But whenever I'm talking about regression tasks, so there we have to predict the continuous number. Okay, we have to predict the continuous number. For an example, I can say house price prediction. Okay, let's say there is an area, there is a number of room. Now you have to predict the price of the house. So it's a continuous number. Okay, you have to predict. But whenever I'm talking about classification task, okay, let's say there is an example I can give, whether this particular email is a ham or spam. Okay, it's just a yes or no classification you are doing. Okay, so this is called classification task. And in clustering, what happens actually, let's say there are different cluster. So what you have to do, you have to make a cluster actually. So let's say this is my positive cluster and this is my negative cluster. Okay, so that's how we have to make a different cluster inside clustering task actually. Okay, so here I'm not going to perform any clustering and regression task. So this particular problem statement would be classification problem statement I'll be solving. But if you can learn this particular classification problem statement, rest of the thing you can also do with the help of same pipeline. Okay, all you just need to understand this particular topic, like what is this particular regression and what is this particular clustering technique. Okay, this is the idea. I hope this part is clear, all of you. Then prerequisite wide, I also need another things actually called AWS account. Okay, AWS account, because here we'll be using AWS account for the model management and for the deployment of our application. So definitely this particular AWS account should be ready, all of you. Okay, So yes, I think these are the prerequisite I need for this particular series. Okay, entire series. So if you have this particular prerequisite, definitely you can continue with this particular playlist. But if you don't know, it's completely fine. You can go through this particular session and you can get the understanding. Okay, later on you can also cover this particular prerequisite. Okay, it's completely fine. But the most important things, I'll prefer this particular Python programming language. So definitely you should familiar with Python programming. Okay, till OP, because everything I'll be writing in a modular fashion. So OP is required here. Got it? Hmm. Sir, computer vision playlist also will be covering. First of all, let's complete this particular um, project implementation playlist. Okay, then we'll be also covering computer vision playlist. Very good. Okay, now let's come to the setup part. Actually, now you can ask me, sir, what are the setups are required? Okay, if I want to do this particular project in our system, what are the setups are required? So setup wise, so let me just write down what are the tools actually I'm going to use. Setup. Okay, is it possible to take Azure, as we already covered AWS GCP in our last community session? Um, Unfortunately, I don't have any Azure account currently, so that's why I'll be using AWS. But definitely, whenever I have the Azure account, I'll try to show you, okay, how we can also work with the Azure account. Even I already created one YouTube video on my channel. You can check it out. So let me show you. So I think it is available. So if you go to this particular playlist section, so there is a playlist called deployment. Okay, so let me show you. So deployment playlist is there. So inside deployment playlist, I already created Azure CI/CD deployment, production grade deployment, okay, of any MLDL project. So you can refer this particular video, Sumit, okay, if you want to do the Azure deployment, Azure CI/CD deployment. All right. So now let me just write down the setup part, okay, like what are the setups are required. So here, the first tool actually I need something called Anaconda. Anaconda, okay. So do you have this particular Anaconda, guys, in your system? Let me know. Anaconda is there. Anaconda is there. Yeah. So Anaconda is required because here all the Python setup and everything would be there. So definitely we should have the Anaconda ready, okay, in our system. Then the second thing, I need something called Git Bash. Okay, Git Bash. Why Git Bash? Because side by side, I'll also show you like GitHub management, like how we can commit your code to the GitHub. If you're writing any new component, how we can commit that particular changes to your GitHub account and all. Okay, so that's why this particular Git Bash is required. All right. Then third, actually, I need something called VS Code. Actually, that means Visual Code Studio. Okay, Visual Code Studio. So here you can also use PyCharm, then Sublime Text. It's up to you, but I'm going to use this particular Visual Code Studio. Okay, in this particular series, because I personally prefer this particular Visual Code Studio. But if you prefer PyCharm or any other like code editor, you can feel free to use it. Okay, I don't have any issue. But VS Code is like more lightweight, what I feel like. So if you are using port configuration PC, so still it will work fine, okay, in your system. Got it? Poetry, I don't use. I like VS Code, that's why. Sort of. Git Bash means it's a Git client. Okay, I think you know the GitHub, right? Very good, GitHub. So let's say this is my GitHub account, right? GitHub. So here we create a repository, different code repository. So if I want to upload my code to my GitHub account, so I need this particular Git client. Okay, that means Git Bash client. So that's why this particular Git Bash software is required. Now I'll show you from where you can download this particular software. So I'm having some of the link. So let me show you. So just a minute, guys. I'm having some of the link. Yeah, so this is for Anaconda installation, guys. So you can see the Anaconda official website. Okay, so this is the Anaconda official website. So from here you can download the Anaconda software, okay, and you can install it in your system. So installation wise, it's just a like simple program installation. So only you just need to do the next, and you have to install this particular software in your system. So if you don't have, you can install. Otherwise, if you already have it, it's completely fine. Okay, you can go ahead with me. Got it? Then the next tool, actually, I need something called Git Bash. So this is the Git Bash Git Bash website. So from here, actually, you can download this particular Git Bash. So this is the website, guys, called gitscm.com. So here you can see the download link. So if you just click here, download for Windows, it will download. If you're also using any other operating system like Mac or any Linux operating system, so what you can do for Mac user, actually, it is already available. You don't need to install. But for Linux user, you have to follow some of the command. Okay. Are you going to use SageMaker? So no, here I'm not going to use SageMaker. I'll tell you what are the tools actually I'll be using for this particular project. Okay. Then the next tool, I need something called Visual Code Studio. So this is the link for the Visual Code Studio download. Yeah, so you can see this is the link code.visualstudio.com dashboard. Okay, so from here you can download this particular Visual Code Studio. So I will attach all this particular like link in my repository. So from there you can download. Okay, after the session I will add each and everything. As of now, you can directly search on Google. You will also get, and you can download it. So here you can see different operating system it is available. So you can download it from here. All right. Okay, so this was the setup part. So before starting with this particular project, you should be ready with this particular setup. Then everything you can do with me. So tell me the agenda of this particular topics will be covered. Tell me how many days. So here we'll be covering the entire production grade machine learning project implementation. The entire pipeline will be implementing, and how many days? Maybe 4 to 5 days. I think 4 to 5 days actually I'll be taking, or 6 days. Okay, around. Because it's not possible to cover one end-to-end implementation in one particular session. Okay, so that's why a couple of session is required. So I'll try to cover, let's say, in 4 to 5 session. I think that would be fine. All right, so now let me show you the project actually we are going to implement. Okay, so I have created a PPT. So let me just show you this particular PPT. I hope my PPT is visible to all of you. Let me know my PPT is visible. So the project actually we're going to implement from machine learning domain called US visa approval prediction. So this is like very popular problem statement. Even it is also available in the Kaggle. So if you just search on the Kaggle, actually US visa approval prediction, you will get this particular data set. And this is like very popular problem statement, okay, in the Kaggle also. So we'll be solving this particular problem statement. Now you can ask me, sir, why you picked up this particular problem statement? Can I do any other problem statement or not? Definitely you can do other problem statement as well. Same pipeline you have to follow, only you just need to change the data part and the EDA and feature engineering part. Okay, this particular pipeline will only change. Otherwise, everything will be remain as same. Actually, I'll be doing in this particular session. Okay, so just to show you, I picked up this particular problem statement, but for you, you can use any other problem statement. It's completely up to you. Okay. So here my objective is to show you the entire implementation, the pipeline. Okay, how we can develop this particular machine learning pipeline with the help of different MLOps tool. Okay, now going forward, whenever you are implementing something new, whenever you are getting some new different data set, actually you can use that particular data set, but you can follow the same technique actually I'll be showing in this particular session. Okay, that should be my agenda in this particular series. I hope this part is clear, all of you. Okay, now please don't ask me, sir, why I picked up this particular US visa approval prediction instead of any other problem statement. I think this part I have already clarified. Let me know, guys. Yeah. So now before starting with the project, guys, first of all, let me discuss about the problem statement. Okay, like what particular problem statement will be solving in this particular series. Okay, like what exactly this particular US visa approval prediction is. So for this, I'll go to the next slide. So see, now many of the people ask me, sir, whenever let's say I am implementing any kinds of project, okay, it's completely fine, I can implement the project, but when it comes to the explanation the project to the interviewer, let's say I have attended one interview, now I have to explain my project to the interviewer. So how I can do it? Okay, how I can explain my project in a proper way. So for this, I have created this particular PPT so that you can get the overview. So whenever you are starting with any project, okay, or let's say you are explaining any kinds of project, so how to start the explanation? Okay, what are the main component you have to decide in your mind? Okay, so that's why I created this particular PPT. See, first of all, what you have to do, you have to explain about the project overview. So inside project overview, there are 4 components you have to explain called understanding the problem statement. First of all, before giving the solution, first of all, try to discuss the problem statement, like what particular problem statement you are trying to solve here. Okay, then the second thing you can see called understand the solution. Let's say I have explained my problem statement. Now what kind of particular solution I have designed for this particular problem statement, I have to explain that particular part here. Okay, so solution part is very much required. So after explaining the problem statement, so try to explain the solution part. Then one solution part is, let's say you have already explained. Now just go through the code understanding and walk through, like how we have designed this particular code, how we have designed this particular pipeline. Okay, what are the tools and technology you are using, why you are using this particular architecture, why are you using this particular MLOps tool. Okay, that part you can discuss after discussing the problem statement and the solution description. Okay, then once this code understanding and walkthrough is also over, what you can do, you can start with the deployment explanation. Like let's say I have created the entire system. Now how you hosted this particular system to the audience. Let's say if I'm a user, I want to use your application. So how you have efficiently deploy your product, okay, in the market so that other people can use it. So that's why understanding deployment is also like very important things. So whenever you are explaining your project, definitely try to explain this particular deployment part as well, okay, to the interviewer, like how we have managed this particular entire software, what are the tools and services you are using to manage your entire software, and how you're like handling the traffic and all. Okay, everything you can discuss in this particular deployment sector. Okay, this is the main idea. So this is what actually project overview. So if you are starting with any project, first of all, try to discuss this 4 part. Then next thing, as I told you, deployment wise, there are so many things you have to consider, like what are the tools and technology you will be using in the deployment. Let's say Docker is there, cloud services is there. Cloud services wise, you can use AWS, Azure, GCP. Okay, then there is a concept called self-hosted runner. I'll tell you what is self-hosted runner, because this is what actually we'll be using for the production grade deployment. Okay, then we'll be also creating the workflows. Okay, for the CI/CD, that means continuous integration and continuous deployment, we'll be setting up this particular workflow. That means we'll be committing our code in our GitHub, and everything would be deployment automatically in our cloud platform. Okay, that's why workflow setup is required. I hope this part is clear, all of you. Now, if it is clear, let me discuss the problem statement, like what particular problem statement we'll be solving in this particular session. Okay, so this is called US visa approval status, as I told you, that means US visa approval prediction. So let's say you have given certain set of features such as continent, education, job experience, training, employment, current age, and etc. Okay, based on that, what you have to do, you have to predict whether this particular application, okay, for the visa will be approved or not. Let's say you want to go for US. Okay, you want to go for US. Let's say there you want to crack a job, you want to go for US. For this, you need to get a visa actually. Okay, but before getting the visa, what you have to do, you have to submit some of the document. Okay, you have to submit some of the document. Let's say your continent, your education, your job experience, your training, your employment, your current age. Okay, based on that, that particular embassy will decide whether they should give the let's say visa to you or not. Okay, so these are some actually manual features actually they have to consider if they want to evaluate you, okay, for that particular visa. So this thing I can automate actually for this particular problem statement. So what I can do, I can use ML algorithm, I can use machine learning to automate this particular task. So this is kinds of like real world problem statement, guys. It's not like a toy project we're implementing, it's a real world problem statement. So in the US embassy, actually what you can do, you can automate this particular process, because there are so many applications. Okay, there are so many applications from the, let's say from the different people actually. So it's very much time taking to manually like go through this particular application and try to evaluate them one by one. So what I can do, I can collect the data and I can create an automatic system. So that system, what it will do, it will try to take that particular document, it will try to analyze. Okay, it will try to analyze, and if this particular feature is matching with my let's say visa requirement description, so what it will do, it will try to select the candidate, otherwise it will try to reject that particular candidate. Okay, so that's how we can automate this particular entire pipeline. Got it? So this is the problem statement. I hope guys this particular problem statement part is clear. All of you, let me know like what this particular US visa approval prediction is. Yes or no, guys? Is it clear? If it is clear, you can let me know, guys. Yeah, so that's why I always tell before starting with any project, first of all, try to understand the problem statement, and with respect to that, try to design the pipeline. Okay, try to design the solution description. Then you can start with the coding part. Okay, so this is what actually we'll be solving in this particular session. Now, what are the features actually we are having? As I already told you, we are having some of the features like continent, like education, job experience, required training, then number of employees, okay, then reason of employment, privilege wage, okay, then contract, trainer, then full time, okay, you are applying for the full time position or not, okay, then age of the company, like the company you are applying for, what is the age of that particular company. Okay, so these are some features actually. Based on these particular features, we'll try to decide whether we should give the visa approval or not. Okay, this is the idea. I'll tell you that I'll show you the dataset, how this particular dataset will look like. So this dataset is also available in the Kaggle website. So I'll share with you this particular dataset, and we'll try to analyze this particular data, and we'll get the insight from this particular data. Okay, and we'll be doing the model training on top of it. Okay, that's the idea. Great. Now let's discuss the solution scope. Like as I already told you, like in a real world where this application can be used. Okay, as I already told you, this can be used on a real life by US visa applications so that they can improve their resume and criteria for the approval process. Okay, as I told you, if I can implement this particular product in a US embassy, okay, so what they can do, they can automate this particular process. Instead of taking the manual, let's say, document, what they can do, they can use this particular system, and they can automatically like get to know, okay, this particular candidate is applicable, this particular candidate is eligible for this particular visa or not. If not, they will reject, otherwise they will approve, okay, the visa. This is the idea. Okay, now I already discussed the solution scope. Now let's discuss the solution approach. There are two kinds of solution approach we can follow. One is like machine learning approach. So as I told you, this is a classification problem statement. So here we can apply classification algorithms. Okay, so there's some classification algorithm, I think you know. Can anybody name some of the classification algorithm? Guys, just write down in the chat some classification algorithm in machine learning. Let me see how many of you can give the correct response. Just name some of the classification algorithm in machine learning. Okay, SBM, logistic, XGBoost, decision. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, we are having random forest classification, right? Classifier, then decision trees classifier, right? Naive Bayes is there, k-nearest neighbor is there. So there are different ML classification algorithm is there. Okay, I think we already know that. Apart from that, we can also solve this particular problem statement with the help of deep learning. Okay, with the help of deep learning. So how many of you are familiar with deep learning concept? At least artificial neural network here. Anyone familiar with artificial neural network with a sigmoid activation function? Have you learned this particular ANN, artificial neural network? So if you know artificial neural network, I think you know that we create a neural network, okay, and we connect each and neurons each other. Then at the very last layer, we take a sigmoid activation function. With the help of this particular architecture, we can also solve this particular problem statement. Okay, but here I'm not going to use the deep learning approach because this is like very simple problem statement, and this can be solved with the help of machine learning only. Because deep learning is like costly at the end. Okay, it's a like very complex like model at the end. Okay, so I always tell, if you can kill a bird with a stone, so why you will be using rocket launcher for this, right? So that's why. So this particular problem statement is like very simple. It can be solved with the ML classification algorithm only. So for this, deep learning is not required, because at the end deep learning is complexity. There is like very use complexity will get, even it's like costly during deployment. Okay, so I don't want to use the deep learning here. Okay, yeah. But if your problem statement is like more complex, if you're not able to solve with this particular linear model, that time you can go with the deep learning approach. Okay, it's completely fine. All right, yeah, great. Now the solution proposed. Okay, like how we'll be proposing the solution. So here some step I have written. So you can see that first of all I'll be loading the data from the database. So definitely it's a completely end-to-end pipeline we'll be implementing. So my data set would be available in my database. Okay, so database wise I'll be using MongoDB here. So I think you know the MongoDB. MongoDB is a database. Okay, it's a NoSQL database. We can use this particular MongoDB. You can also use any other database like Cassandra or any other database you can use, but I'll be using the MongoDB here. Okay, because MongoDB will give you some free cluster credit. There you can create a free cluster. You can keep your data there. Okay, we'll be using this particular MongoDB here. Then we'll be performing the EDA, that means exploitative data analysis and feature engineering. Okay, to select the desirable features, because it's a machine learning problem statement. So there would be lots of features, but I don't need all the features actually to perform my model training. So what I have to do, I have to perform the exploitative data analysis and I have to understand the data. After that, what I have to do, I have to apply the feature engineering technique to select some desirable features actually. Okay, like what are the features are like, let's say, important for this particular problem statement. I'll be selecting these particular features, and the rest of the features I will remove from this particular data set itself, right? So this is what actually I have to do. Then what I have to do, I have to fit machine learning classification algorithm and find out which one performs better. So here what I will be doing, guys, we are not going to fit only one specific machine learning algorithm. We'll be keeping all the algorithm, all the powerful algorithm, whatever we are having inside classification, list of the algorithm we'll be using, and we'll be fit our data. Then what I will do, I'll just try to find out which one performs better. Okay, so from that one actually I'll be selecting some few model. Okay, I'll be selecting some few model which will be working better, and those particular few model I'll be doing the hyperparameter tunings. Okay, I think you know the hyperparameter tunings in machine learning with the help of grid search CV, and there is another one called random search CV. We can do the hyperparameter tuning. So we'll be doing the hyperparameter tuning. Then after performing hyperparameter tuning, whichever model will be working better, I'll be selecting that particular model as my best model. Okay, I'll be selecting that particular model as my best model, and I'll be use that particular model for the prediction purpose. Okay, this is the entire solution proposed I have designed. Okay, so first of all, we'll be loading the data from the database. We'll be performing the exploitative analysis and feature engineering task to select the desirable features. Then we'll be fit the ML classification algorithm. We'll be using all the classification algorithm, and out of that we'll be selecting some few algorithm which is working better. Then we'll be doing the hyperparameter tuning, and after hyperparameter tuning we'll see the metric, and whichever will be working better, we'll be selecting that particular model for my prediction purpose. Okay, that is the entire idea for this particular pipeline. I hope this part is clear, all of you. Option also you can use. Okay, Sumit, it's not a big deal. You can also use optional. But here I'll be using grid search CV mostly because it's a like more popular one. Okay, and whenever I'll be showing the deep learning project implementation, there I may also show you the deep learning hyperparameter tuning with the help of Keras tuner. Okay, you can also do the hyperparameter tuning with the help of Keras tuner. It is also possible. All right, now in this particular session, what are the things we are gonna do? So first thing, we'll be setting up my GitHub repository for this particular project. Then we'll be doing the requirement installation. Then we'll be creating the project template. Okay, that means the project folder structure. So after creating the project folder structure, we'll be able to write the code. Okay, but before starting the coding, first of all, I want to discuss this particular three main component called GitHub repository, requirement installation, and template creation, because these are the things will be common for every project. Every end-to-end project you will be implementing in future. Okay, you have to do the you have to follow this particular three technique. Okay, GitHub repo, requirements, and template creation. We'll see that Saket. Okay. All right, and if you want to set up the MongoDB, guys, this is the URL cloud.mongodb.com. So you can visit this particular URL and you can create an account there. Okay, you can create an account with your Google, that means your email address, and then you can use this particular MongoDB service. But as of now, I'm not suggesting. I'll tell you guys how to set up this particular MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB Atlas in the cloud. and how we can configure our data there. Okay, everything I'll tell you. So as of now, you can skip this part. Now, first of all, what I have to do, guys, I have to create a GitHub repository. So let's create a GitHub repository. Then I'll do the requirement installation and I'll create the project template creation. Okay, in this particular session itself. So everyone, what you can do if you're doing with me, so you can open up your GitHub, all of you. Okay, you can open up your GitHub. Yes, you can also use cookie cutter template Ransing, but I'll be creating manually. Okay, manually I'll try to create this particular template for me. Fine. So everyone, what you can do, guys, you can open up your GitHub. All of you can open up your GitHub account, and here you can create a repository. So let me go to the repository section. So you can see this is my GitHub, and here I'll try to create a repository. So I'll just try to name this particular repository as US Visa. Okay, US Visa. Or I can just give it this particular name. I think that would be fine. The same name I can give. I'll open this particular session. And this is the name I can copy. MLOPs production ready machine learning project. Okay. You can use any of the name. It's up to you, but I'll be using this particular name just to match with my playlist. Okay. That things actually I'm doing. Now here I'll keep this particular name. And I'll keep this particular repository as public because I want to share with all of you. So that's why it's a public repository. Then I will add the readme file, and git ignore wise I'll be selecting Python because here I'm using Python programming language. Okay. And here what I will do, I'll just try to select the license. So you can use any of the license, but I'll be taking the MIT license. Okay. Now let's create the repository here. All right, my repository is created. You can see my repository is created. Now let me share this particular repository with all of you. So whatever code actually I'm going to commit, everything you will get here. So I'm sharing in the chat, guys. Just a minute. Let me share in the chat. So this is the link I have shared in the chat. So let me share it again. Yeah, so from here you can copy paste. Okay, from here you can copy paste this particular URL. Otherwise you can directly open this particular URL, okay, in your system. My screen is visible, all of you? Screen is visible? I hope my screen is visible. Okay, so I'll wait for 1 minute, guys. In that 1 minute, what you can do, you can create a your GitHub account, and you can clone this particular GitHub account. Okay, so please try to create a GitHub account, all of you. And in between, guys, what you can do, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, so please try to subscribe to my channel, guys, and please share this particular content with your friends and family. Okay, so that they can also get to know. Preshra, actually, generative AI playlist wise, yeah, I'll try to create it also. Okay, if it is required, definitely I'll try to create. But some Gen AI content is also available in my YouTube channel. Okay, you can see the content I've already created, like how to create end-to-end Gen AI projects and all. Okay, some of the content you will get. The proper playlist I don't have, but I'll try to create. Okay, in future. Yeah. So it's very disappointing, guys, because I see like many people watch my content, but they don't do the subscribe to my channel. So please try to do the subscription because it gives me the motivation to create the content. Okay, if you're not subscribing, if you're only watching the content, so definitely I will lose my motivation, right? So please try to do the subscription, okay, to the channel, so that I can get more motivation and I can bring lots of new things to the audience, okay, as free of cost. So please try to support the channel. All right. So now I think you have created this particular repository, all of you, right? Now what I can do, I can clone this particular repository. So just click on the code button and select the HTTP address and copy this particular link. Okay, copy this particular link and open up your local folder. So let me open up my local folder. So let's say this is my local folder called YouTube. So here I'm going to open up my git bash. Okay, so I'm going to open up my git bash. So here I have opened up my git bash. So you can also open up your git bash because I already showed you how to set up this particular git bash. It's just a software installation. Do next and try to install this particular git bash. Okay, now this is my git bash, guys. So here just write this particular command called git clone. Okay, git clone and paste this particular link. So let me zoom this particular screen a little bit. See, git clone and paste this particular link. And if you press enter, see this particular repo would be cloned. This particular repo would be cloned. This is the repo you can see, MLOPs production ready machine learning project. Now what I have to do, I have to go inside this particular folder. For this, I'm going to write one command called cd. That means change directory. Okay, change directory where inside MLOPs. Okay, inside MLOPs production ready machine learning project. So if I press tab, see it will auto complete this particular folder. Now if I hit enter, see I'm inside this particular folder right now. Initially I was inside YouTube. Now I'm inside this particular folder called MLOPs production ready machine learning project. That means I'm inside this particular folder, right? Okay, this particular folder. Now in this particular folder, I'm going to open up my Visual Code Studio. Okay, in this particular folder, I'm going to open up my Visual Code Studio. Now how to open up this particular Visual Code Studio? For this, you can either right click and click on show more, and there is an option called open with code. You can use this particular option. Otherwise, you can open from the terminal. So how to open from the terminal? So here you have to write one command called code space dot. Okay, code space dot. If you write this particular command, it will automatically open up the Visual Code Studio in this particular directory. You can see that this is my Visual Code Studio. It has opened. Now let me close this particular welcome screen and see my VS Code is open. That means everything is ready. Okay, everything is ready from my side. So this is like very common step, guys, and this will remain common for all the, let's say, project you will be doing in future. So definitely you have to do the same thing as I already did here. Can we try with code space? Yes, Ransing, you can try. So I already did code space dot. That command you can execute and you can open up this particular Visual Code Studio in your directory. Fine. Yeah. Now let me give you all the materials, whatever things I have shared in the session. So here what I can do, I can just write this particular link. Okay, the link actually I have shared with you. So this is the Anaconda installation link. So here you can see, from here you can download the Anaconda. From here you can download the Visual Code. From here you can download the Git bash. Okay, so these are the link I have given in the README file. So you can get the reference from my repository itself. Okay. Now let me save. Yeah, I think everything is fine now. Yeah, everything is fine now. Now, if I want to commit the changes, because if I show you my GitHub right now, so this particular changes is not visible in my GitHub. So if I refresh, see, this particular changes is not visible in my GitHub. So what I have to do, I have to commit the changes. So how to commit the changes? For this, I'll open up my git bash again, and here you have to execute some of the command. Okay, the first command you have to write called git add space dot. Okay, this is the command you have to write called git add space dot. So these are some basics git command, guys. Okay, if you're not familiar with git, it's completely fine. Whatever command I'm showing, you can execute, okay, from your system. Now see, it will add all the new changes you have done. Okay, it will add all the new changes you have done in the stage. Okay, now the next command you have to write called git commit -m. Okay, -m means you want to give a message. Actually, the message, like here I can give, I have updated the readme file. So readme file, okay, readme file updated, so that I can get a reference later on, like what are the changes I have done in this particular code. Okay, that's why this particular message is required. Now see, I have done the commit operation. That means you can see one file changed. That means inside one file I have done some changes. Okay, that's why it's telling one file change. Okay, and 5 insertion happened. You can see I have given 2 space and 3 line I have added. That means 5 insertion happened and 1 deletion happened. Okay, that means deletion wise maybe I have deleted 1 line here. That's why 1 deletion happens here. Okay, now what I can do, I can push the changes. So for this I can write this particular command called git push, okay, origin main, because this is my main branch. That's why I'm writing git push origin main. Now if I do it, this particular changes would be visible in my GitHub. Okay, now if I go back and if I refresh, see this particular changes is available in my GitHub right now. So what you can do guys, you can refresh this particular page and you can get the changes. Okay, I think I already shared the link in the chat. All right, now let me open up my Visual Code Studio again. Yeah. Now the next thing guys, what I have to do, I have to create the project folder structure. Okay, I have to create the project folder structure. So how to create the project folder structure? So one approach, you can follow the manual approach. So here you can just click here on the new file, new folder. With the help of this particular button, you can manually create. And there is another approach, we can follow the automatic approach, because I usually follow the automatic approach because it helps me a lot to create this particular structure as soon as possible, right? But if you are creating manually, so it will take lots of time and it's like very time taking effort, right? But if you are doing like this particular automatic process, that means you will be doing only one time effort. Okay, and rest of the time you will be doing the automatic process. That means you will only execute that particular file and it will automatically create this particular template for you. Okay, so now how to create this particular template file? Okay, it's like basic very like basic Python code will be writing here. So only the folder and file I'll be creating, because you know that right, in Python how to create the folders and file with the help of operating system library. Okay, there is a library called OS, I think you know that, operating system. With the help of that we can easily create the folders and file, right? We'll be using operating system to create this particular folders and file. We have to do the git pull. You can do the git pull, otherwise you can also create your own repository running and from there you can do the changes. Okay, yeah, and what you can do, you can also fork my repository. So there is a fork button, you can also fork my repository, so it would be available in your repository section. You can also start it. Okay, you can also start it if you like this particular repository, you can also start it. Okay, yeah. So now what I will do, I'll try to create this particular template file. So let me create this particular template file. So I'll create a new file. I'll just name it as template. Okay, template. Sorry, it should be template. Okay, template.py. How explain this project in the interview? HP I already discussed. Okay, in the very first part, I have already discussed how we can explain this particular project to the interviewer. For this, I have created this particular PPT. I think you saw that I created this particular PPT. Okay, in that PPT, I have mentioned what are the main component you have to discuss to the interviewer. So please try to revert back and try to see the recording. Okay, you'll get the idea. And definitely after completing this particular project, I'll tell you again, okay, how you can explain this particular project to the interviewer. First of all, let me try to complete this particular implementation, because it's just a first session we are doing. In introduction session we are doing. Okay, yeah. What is the uses of TensorFlow? TensorFlow is a framework. Okay, it's a deep learning framework. You can use, like in machine learning we are having scikit-learn, right? sklearn. So in deep learning we are having something called TensorFlow and PyTorch. Kirusant, I think you got your answer, right? Yeah. So let me zoom my screen a little bit. I think now it is visible. So guys, how is the session? Are you enjoying or it's boring? You can let me know. Uh, how is the session, guys? Is it boring or you are enjoying? Because we'll be doing live coding here, so sometimes it will feel boring, but sometimes you will be enjoying. Those who are interested in coding, definitely they will be enjoying. Okay, because it's not just like 30 minutes of session. We'll be doing 1 to 2 hours of session here. Okay, and we'll be completing the topic here. So yeah, I hope you are ready for the session, and you have your system with you. Okay, please don't try to join from the phone, try to join from the system itself. Okay, so cookie cutter, I'll tell you. Okay, in other project maybe that will be good. Okay, yeah. So now let's create this particular template file. Okay, let's create this particular template file. So it's just a simple Python code, guys. It's not a fancy code. Only you just need to import some of the libraries. So first of all, I need to import operating system, because as I told you, operating system will be using. Okay, import OS. And I also need another package called pathlib. Okay, pathlib. Sorry, it should be from pathlib. Okay, import path. I'll tell you why this path is required. Okay, there is a like why actually we are using this particular path. Okay, there is a reasons we are using this particular path. Okay, I'll tell you later on. Now, first of all, let me show you one diagram. Okay, let me show you one diagram. After seeing this particular diagram, your understanding would be clear, like how we are creating this particular project folder template. Okay, like if I'm writing this particular code, okay, in front of you, then definitely you will get a confused, like why I'm creating this particular folders and file. Okay, why it is required. Okay, that's why I created a flowchart. Okay, I created a flowchart for you. So this particular flowchart will give you the entire clear cut idea how you can create this particular project folder template. Okay, for your reference. Now see, guys, there is one image actually I am showing. So I think this image is visible to all of you. So let me just see. Yeah. So this is the image, guys. This is the flowchart image. So as of now, just try to ignore this particular first two part. Okay, this particular first two part, just try to ignore. Just try to see this particular diagram. Okay, the diagram I'm showing at the last. Okay, this particular deployable code diagram. Okay, this particular folder structure diagram. So so you can see this particular diagram. So here I have mentioned the project folder structure, the project folders and file structure, like how we are going to create this particular project folders and file structure. Okay, so you can see this is the project actually we are implementing called US Visa. Okay, US Visa. So US Visa would be the root name. Okay, US Visa would be the root name. Why? Because this is a way actually we usually create a production grade template. Okay, so let me show you one real time example. If you visit Keras GitHub, okay, if you visit Keras GitHub, so Keras is also follow the same technique. Okay, you can see this is the Keras GitHub. Now see, Keras has lots of folders and file. Now can you see one folder they have called Keras? Okay, okay, one folder they have called Keras. So inside Keras, they are having different component. You can see inside that they are having different component like API, SRC. Okay, if I open this SRC, there are so many components like activation function, application, callbacks. Okay, constraint, dataset. Those who are familiar with deep learning, I think you know what is activation, what is application backend. Okay, what is callbacks. I think you already know. So that means this is the project name. That means this is the Keras is a project name. That means whenever they are writing the code, that particular name they are using as a root name. That means Keras. Inside Keras, they are having different component. Okay, they are having different functionality of their package. Okay, so the same thing will be following. That means we are implementing one project called US Visa. So US Visa would be my root name. Inside that, all the component related to the US Visa would be available. Let's say data ingestion, data validation, data transformation, model trainer, model evaluation. Okay, model pusher, configuration, constraint, entity logger, pipeline, utils. Each and everything would be available under US Visa. Okay, under US Visa. Now you can ask me, sir, what is configuration constant entity? As of now, I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you later on. Okay. So I think this image is not clearly visible. So what I can do, I think it should be visible, all of you. Just a minute. Yeah, I think now you can see the entire screen, right? This particular US Visa, this particular flowchart section, I think you can see that, right? So see, this is what actually will be following this particular folder structure. So first of all, we'll be creating our root name called US Visa. Okay, inside that we'll be creating different component, like component wise data ingestion, data validation. Okay, then configuration. Configuration means we'll be configure with our S3 bucket. Like in the S3 we'll push the model, we'll keep the model there. Okay, so for this I need to do the S3 configuration. So inside configuration we'll be do the S3 configuration and all. Then constant will be keeping. Okay, constant will be keeping. What is constant, what is entity, I'll tell you. Okay, as of now I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to only create the folder structures, but whenever I'll do the coding, that time actually I'll tell you why this particular configuration constant entity is required. Okay, that time I'll tell you each and everything. Please place this section for the testing too. Yeah, so I'll share this particular flowchart with you guys in the same repository section. Okay, you will get this particular image as well. Okay, now let's see this particular diagram and let's try to create our folder structure. Okay, so first of all I have to create this particular root folder name called US visa. So let me create, so I'll open up my code, and here what I will do, I'll just try to take a variable called project name. Okay, so project underscore name. Okay, project underscore name is equal to, so this is going to be the US underscore visa. Okay, because this is the name actually I want to use. Okay, as I already saw in the flowchart section. Okay, now I have to create some list of the file. So list of files and folders. Okay, list of files and folders. So I can just name it as list of files. So this is going to be a list. Okay, this is going to be a list. Inside that, first of all, I have to create the folder name. That means project name. Okay, project name, that means US visa. So inside US visa, you can see inside US visa, I have to create a folder called component. Okay, I have to create a folder called component. So let me create this particular folder. So here I can write slash, the folder name should be component. Okay, component. So component is my folder name. Okay, component is my folder name. Okay, this is what actually I'm doing. But before that, what I have to do, because US visa is a folder. Okay, US visa is a folder. So whenever you are creating any end-to-end project, so you have to also create a constructor file. Okay, so let me create a constructor file as well. So here what I can do, I can copy the same thing. Now instead of creating the component, I can create this particular constructor file. So underscore init underscore .py. Okay, so this particular constructor file will tell you this particular folder is my local package. That means whenever you will do the local package installation, okay, that particular folder should be considered as your local package. Okay, I'll tell you whenever we'll do the setup .py installation, that time I'll tell you, okay, what is this particular local package installation. Okay, yeah, so this is what this constructor file is required. Okay, in each and every folder. Okay, if you're doing it, because see, this is a modular coding and we have to import any of the, let's say, component from any other file. So that time actually we have to import that particular folder and file. Okay, that's why this particular local concept is required. Okay, local package concept is required, and for this particular constructor file is required. Okay, with the help of this particular constructor file, we'll set up that particular folder as my local package. That is the idea. Fine. Yeah, now I have already created the entire see, I've already created the entire structure. So let me show you. The entire structure I have already created. So instead of writing one by one, I can show you here because it is already ready. Just a minute. Now see, I think it is visible to all of you. See what I have done. It's like very simple. So first of all, I created the constructor file. Inside that, I created the component folder because you can see the component folder is there, and component is again a folder. Okay, that's why we have created this particular. Okay, we have created this particular constructor again. Okay, now inside that we are having data ingestion, validation, transformation, model trainer. So you can see data ingestion, data validation, transformation, model trainer, evaluation, and pusher. So all the files are available. Okay, all the files are available inside components. Okay, that means this particular component part is clear. So inside US visa component, these are the files we have already created. Now we have to create the configuration. Okay, so you can see the configuration is also created, and configuration is a folder. That's why we have created this particular constructor file. Okay, now once this configuration is clear, we also need to create something called constant. So you can see the constant is also created. Constant is also created, and constant is also a folder. That's why we kept this particular constructor file. Now after constant, you can see the entity. Okay, that means inside entity we are having two kinds of entity called config entity and artifact entity. So you can see that config entity is also created, artifact is also entity is created. That means if you can match with this particular flowchart, you will see the same thing we are creating here. Okay, as a code. The same thing we are creating as a code. Okay, so with the help of this particular slash, you can understand, okay, after like inside which folder which file is available. Okay, you can see that inside this particular entity this two file is available. Okay, inside this particular entity this two file is available. Okay, that's how you can understand. Now logger pipeline utils. Okay, logger pipeline utils, you can see the logger pipeline utils. Each and everything I have created as a code here. That means list of the folders and file I need for this particular project implementation. Okay, so this is what actually I have written in this particular list, empty list. Okay, that's how we can prepare this particular template.py. Okay, now we have defined our structure. Now I have to create this particular structure in an automatic way. Okay, in an automatic way with the help of Python code. Now how it can be done? Okay, how it can be done? For this, one simple logic you have to write. Okay, the simple logic, let me show you the simple logic. It's a very simple logic, guys. Okay, if you understand the Python code, it's a very simple logic. See, this is the simple logic I have written. So here I'm writing one for loop. You can see here where I'm writing one for loop. So I'm looping through this particular list one by one. That means first of all this particular item will come, then this particular item will come, then this particular item will come. Okay, until it gets over. Okay, you can see the for loop I'm applying on top of this particular list. Then the path actually I'm getting, because this is a path. You can see this is a path. So that means US visa slash underscore underscore init.py. Then US visa slash component slash underscore underscore init.py. Then US visa slash components slash data ingestion.py. Again, it's a path. You can see it's a path. Okay, it's a path. But you can see if I show you the Windows path, if I click here, you can see if I show you the Windows path, Windows usually use backward slash. Okay, if you see Windows usually use backward slash. Okay, but if you're using forward slash, because see here you are using forward slash, so sometimes what it will do, it will give you an error. It will give you a path error. Okay, it will give you a path error because you are using a forward slash. But in Windows we can use the backward slash. But for other operating system, let's say Mac or Linux, they use forward slash. But those are using Windows machine, that time you have to use backward slash. Okay, so to prevent this particular path issue, we can use this particular path library. So what path usually do, let me show you one example. So let me clear this particular terminal. I'll activate my Python. Okay, so here what I can do, first of all, I will import this particular pathlib from path. Okay, so here I can write from pathlib. Okay, from pathlib import path. Okay, I need to import this particular package. Now let me define one path. So path is equal to, so here I can just write test slash, that means forward slash I have given, and inside that I kept one file called test.py. Okay, test.py I have kept. So this is going to be my path. Okay, now see, this is a forward slash I have given. Okay, now if I give this particular path to this particular path class, okay, this path to this particular path class, it will automatically detect my operating system. It will telling Windows path. Okay, it will automatically detect my operating system and it will try to convert that particular part in that particular operating system. Okay, so you can see it is automatically detect I'm using Windows. That's why it has converting this particular part to Windows path right now. Internally it has already converted, so you don't need to do it manually. That's why we use this particular path library, okay, from the pathlib itself, because this particular path will help you to prevent this particular path issue if you're using forward or backward slash. Okay, because the product we are implementing, it should run in all the operating system. Okay, it should run in all operating system. It's not like that in Windows machine you are creating, only Windows can execute this particular project. It's not like that. It will also run in Linux, it will also run in Mac machine. Okay, every machine it can run this particular project. That's why you have to always write the optimized version of your code. Okay, optimized version of your code, you have to add the automation things here. Okay, most of the tasks you have to do the automation, so that if you're changing something in future, that would be automatically handled. Okay, that's why we have kept this particular path library, okay, in this particular project. Now what I am doing, guys, I'm separating out my folders and file. You can see I'm separating out my folders and file. How? With the help of os.path.split. Okay, see how it is working. Let's say this is going to be my path. So this is my folder and this is my file. So now if I import this particular OS, okay, import OS. Now what I can do, I just write os.path, okay, .split. Okay, inside that if I give my path, okay, now if I hit enter, you will see test would be in a separate, okay, test would be in a separate, test.py would be in a separate, okay, in a tuple. So this is going to be my folder and this is going to be my file. The same logic I'm applying here. You can see I'm applying this particular os.path.split, and inside that I'm giving my file path, and it will first of all separate out your folder and it will separate out your file. Okay, so folder wise I'm saving inside folder variable, file wise I'm saving inside file variable. So first of all I'm creating the folder with the help of make directories. Okay, base.make directories. Then once my file is created, I'm also creating the once my folder is created, I'm also creating the files. Okay, so here you can see I'm using with open option, okay, to create this particular file. Okay, and if any files is already there, okay, I'm telling this file is already present in this particular directory, so you don't need to create it. Okay, and one specific actually condition I'm checking, whenever I'm creating any kinds of file, first of all I'm checking the size, if this file is empty on, let's say this file is already available. Okay, instead of replacing that particular file, first of all I have to check the size of that particular file. If size is empty, that means this is an empty file I can replace. Otherwise, if this file contains some code, this file says won't be empty, that time I won't be able to replace that particular file. That's why I have given this particular condition. First of all, I'm checking whether this particular file path is exist or not. If exist, then it's empty or not. That means get size is equal to 0 or not. If yes, try to create this particular file. Otherwise, just try to tell this file is already present in this particular file path. Okay, so this is the simple logic I have written. This is a simple logic I have written in Python. Okay, now this is my template.py. With the help of this particular file, now I will be creating my project folder structure in a automatic mode. Okay, in a automatic mode. Let me tell you how to create it. Now, so I see the magic right now. There is nothing. Okay, now if I open up my terminal and if I exit this particular terminal, okay, let me clear. Now, if I just execute this particular template.py file, see the magic. So I'll just write Python template.py. Okay, I'll just write Python template.py, and if I hit enter, see, automatically, okay, automatically this particular folders and file has created. Okay, automatically this particular folders and file has created. You can see, okay, automatically is created. Okay, automatically is created. Now inside that you can see we have created the components. That means first of all the constructor file, then components. Inside component we are having all the component ingestion, transformation, validation, evaluation, then configuration, constant, entity, exception, logger, pipeline, utils. All the files we have mentioned here, everything is created automatically. Okay, everything is created automatically here, so I don't need to manually create it. Okay, I don't need to manually create it. Let's say in future I need some more folders and file. What I can do, I can simply mention here. So let's say I'll try to mention here. So let's say I need some more files and folder here. So here I can mention, let's say I need app.py, requirement.txt, docker file. Okay, so these are the thing I need. So I'll mention it here. And again, what I will do, I'll try to save this particular file. I'll open up my terminal and I'll execute the same command. See, automatically this particular folders and files would be created here. So this is the use of this particular template.py. Instead of creating manually your folder structure, what you can do, you can use this particular automatic script to create it automatically, okay, in your project. Now see, it's just a one-time effort. Now you can use this particular template in your of all the project. Okay, all the project you will be implementing in future, you can use this particular same template. Only the folders and file name you can change here. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, now I think this particular image part is clear. So here we are setting up my development environment right now. Okay, so in the development environment in the Visual Code Studio, you can see we have created template.py, docker file, git ignore app.py. Even we have also created the entire project folder structure. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to set up my requirement.txt. That means what are the package, what are the, let's say, module we'll be using in this particular project, we have to mention in the requirement file. Okay, then we have to create the environment, then we have to install this particular requirements. This is the idea. Okay, in this particular image I have added each and everything. So what you can do, you can refer this particular image and you can set up your environment. Okay, so that's how actually end-to-end implementation happens, guys. Okay, it's not like that you only need to do the coding, you also need to prepare the documentation, you also need to create this particular flowchart. Now you can ask me, sir, how to create this particular flowchart, which particular tools I can use. So for this you can use this particular tools, guys, called whimsical.com. There is a website called whimsical.com. So with the help of this particular website, you can create beautiful flowchart. So let me first of all log in with my account. So I can log in with my account here. So this is my account I can use. Okay, so here you can see this is the interface. Now here you can see select different component, different shapes. Okay, with the help of this particular shapes you can create different flowchart. Okay, see, as I already showed you, so how to create this particular flowchart. So with the help of this particular different shape you can create the flowchart. Okay, so you can explore this particular website, guys. Let me give the link. So you can refer it later on. So here I can mention the link. So for flowchart, you can use this particular website. Okay, mcl.com. Yeah, thank you. My note, thank you. So till here, guys, everything is clear. Let me know. Till here, everything is clear. Let me know, guys. Yes or no? If yes, so please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Please let me know, guys. So let's keep this particular session interactive. We can interact each other. You can ask any kinds of question in the chat. Okay, I can give all of your response, guys. Okay, then things would be more clear. Yes, you can also use draw.io. Okay, Ransing. You can also use that particular software. I mean website. Okay, it's completely fine. So till here, guys, everything is clear. If clear, you can give me a thumbs up in the chat. Yeah, I'll push the code. I'll push the code as well. Okay, definitely I'll push the code. First of all, give me a confirmation if you got till here. This particular code is clear, yes or no? Sumit, I will tell you what are the MLOps tool will be using. Whenever I'll be using it, I'll tell you. Okay. One amazing tool will be using called Evidently. Okay, Evidently will be using to detect the data diff, because in machine learning the main things actually will face called data diff. Okay, data diff problem. So we have to detect the data diff. Okay. Yeah, so MLOps tool wise, I'll be using, guys, in this particular project called Evidently. Have you heard of this particular tool? I think it's Evidently. Let me see the spelling. So Evidently. Yeah, Evidently AI. Okay, so this is the MLOps tool we'll be using. So Evidently is a like tool you can evaluate, test, and monitor your AI powered application and product. Okay, so with the help of that you can do the data diff prediction. Okay, there are lots of things you can do with the help of Evidently, but I'll be using this particular Evidently for the data diff. Okay, data diff detection. Evidently AI. Yes, you are right. Evidently AI. Okay, so this is one amazing MLOps tool. So it's not recommended to use all the MLOps tool in one project. Whenever you need something, okay, to automate one process, you can use one specific tool. Okay, you can keep your application more simple. Okay, instead of creating more complex application. Got it? Yeah, package name is Evidently. Okay. So this is one amazing tool. We'll be exploring this particular project. Okay. So let me also give you this particular link in the same resources. So later on, you can also explore this particular website. Okay, for MLOps tool, we'll be using Evidently. Okay, Evidently AI. Experiment tagging tool, I'm not going to use in this particular project. Next project I'll be doing. Okay, Sumit. Next I will also bring one specific like project. I'll be bringing one deep learning project. There I'll be using experiment tagging tool as well. Yep. There are so many tools in the market, so it's not possible to explore everything. But if you can get the understanding, if you can get the, let's say, idea, okay, how we can integrate different tools. Because see, at the end, MLOps is what? MLOps is just a tool. Okay, it's not a theory, it's just a tool. You have to learn how to use that particular tool, how to set up this particular tool, how to use it in my code. That is the main learning here. It's not a like very complex thing. Project implementation wise, you have to learn like how to develop the entire pipeline. And for MLOps integration, you only need to learn the tool. Okay, like how to integrate this particular tool in this particular implementation. Let's say I want to automate this particular data diff. I have to manually write some Python code, but instead of manually writing, what I can do, I can use Evidently to automate this particular task. This is called MLOps, machine learning operation. Basically, you are automating the process here. Okay. When this class end, I have to eat the dinner. Let's see when I can end. But at least try to consider like 2 hour. Okay, 2 hour every day. 2 hour actually will be doing. Okay, at least 2 hour or 1.5 hour. Okay, Vikal. So be ready. Okay, from tomorrow be ready. You can have the dinner and all. Okay, otherwise side by side also you can have the dinner and you can watch this particular recording. Will you cover ML flow DAG 2? ML flow will be using in the next project. Okay, not in this particular project. 5 to 6 days. Okay, tomorrow. ML flow will be great. Add on here just a request. We'll be using ML flow in the next project because see, I told you now. So it's not recommended to use all the MLOps tool in one project. In the next project, I'll try to show you the MLOps integration as well. Okay. Even some tutorial I'm having on ML flow. Let me show you in the playlist section. You can see I'm having one playlist called ML flow for data science. Okay. So here you can see the tutorial I have created. Okay. You can get the idea. Okay. So now I think our structure is ready. Now what I can do, guys, I can commit the changes to my GitHub. So I can directly also commit. So I already connected with my GitHub with my VS Code. So from here also I can do the commit. Let's say I'll just add folder structure added. Okay, folder structure added. And if I click on the commit and sync the changes, okay, so it will automatically commit the code in my GitHub. Now see, it's done. Now if I go back to my GitHub and refresh this particular page, see all the changes you can see here. Okay, it's visible. Just a minute, guys. Okay. AWS account without credit card, how to active, sir? No, without credit card you can't do it. You have to use your credit card. Okay, so you have to add your card, and after that you will get $300 credit. Okay, free credit. That time you can use free. Okay, okay, Mahesh. But without credit card you can activate. Debit card also support. Okay, I think AWS you can try, but make sure you have the permission from your bank. So first of all, contact with your bank. Okay, if your bank gives the permission, definitely you can do it. Okay, so now I think we are done with the this particular folder structure creation. Now let's add the requirements. Okay, but before adding the requirements, first of all I have to create an environment. Okay, so how to create the environment? So let me show you the command to create the environment. So you have to execute some of the command here. Yeah, first of all let me also share with the git commands I have executed. So see, these are the git command I have executed, like git add, git commit, and git push origin main. Okay, now I will also show you the environment creation command. Okay, so these are the command you have to execute to create the environment. Okay, now you can see the first command you have to execute called conda create -n. You can give the environment name. So here I have given visa. Okay, you can give any name. Okay, any name. It's completely up to you. You can give your name, my name, any name you can give. But this is the US visa project I am doing. That's why I have given the name of the visa. Okay, And here I've specified the Python version I want to use. Here in this particular case, I will be using Python 3.8. That's why I have mentioned 3.8. Okay, Python 3.8. Okay, so let's copy this particular command and I'll execute from my git bash. Okay, I'll execute from my terminal, or you can also execute from your Anaconda prompt. Anywhere you can execute. Okay, now let's paste it and execute. See, it will automatically create the environment for me. You can use OCR, Nitesh. Okay, OCR. If it is a image format, you can use OCR, and if it is a PDF format, you can use PyPDF reader. Krish. See, my environment is created. Okay, now I have to activate the environment. For this is the command conda activate visa. I'll copy and I'll try to activate it. So let me clear and let me activate the environment. Okay, see, activation is done. Now what I have to do, I have to install the requirements. So for this, I need to add all the requirements I need. That means all the package, all the, let's say, Python package I need to use in this particular project, I have to mention here. So I have already listed down some of the packages. So these are the packages I need to install, okay, for this particular project. Let me just show you. I'll copy all the packages and here I'm going to mention. Okay, so you can see I need IPYNB, kernel, pandas, numpy, matplotlib, plotly, cbond. Okay, so these are the common packages I think you already know, right? In machine learning, sklearn, then xgboost, catboost. Okay, pymongo. Pymongo is for MongoDB connection. So here I told you we'll be using MongoDB database. For this I need this pymongo. Okay, then evidently I already told you for the MLOPs tool I'll be using evidently. So evidently I'll be using this particular specific version. Okay, 0.2.8. Then PyYAML, because we'll be also managing the YAML file. You can see lots of YAML file is there. So YAML I also need to install. Okay, the NeuroMF, I'll tell you what is this particular NeuroMF whenever I'll be using this particular service. I'll tell you, okay, that time. Then you can see the Boto3. Boto3 is for the AWS connection, and first API, because the entire web application will be creating, the front end part will be creating. Okay, for our application will be using the first API. You can also use Flask. Then you can also use Streamlit. Okay, you can also use Falcon. It's up to you, but I'll be using first API here. Then if you want to use first API, you also need to install two more packages called UVCon and Ginger 2. Okay, then Python multipart. So these are the things I need to install. Okay, these are the packages I need for this particular project. Okay, so whenever I'll be using, I'll tell you in detail why we are using this particular package. As of now, try to install these are the packages in your environment. Okay, and at the very last, I have added one more line called -e space dot. Okay, why I have added this particular -e space dot? Because to set up my local package, you can see US Visa is my local package, because inside US Visa I'm having so many components. Okay, you can see. Okay, now let's say I want to import something from the US Visa. So how to import? So here I can write like that. So from US Visa, okay, US Visa dot, let's say I want to import this particular component. Okay, so here I'll just write component. Okay, and then say I want to import data ingestion. Okay, import data ingestion. So I can import like that. So whenever I'm trying to import like that, that means this particular package folder should be as my local package. Okay, because as of now, if I do the pip list operation, see, if I do the pip list operation, this US Visa is not considered as my package. US Visa is not considered as my package. Okay, it's not a package. So I have to install this particular US Visa folder as my local package. How to install? For this, I have to use this particular line called -e space dot. I have to use this particular line called -e space dot. Okay, and it will look for this particular file called setup.py. And inside setup.py, I have to write some additional code. So let me show you what particular additional code you have to cite here. Yeah, this is the additional code. So this is the additional code. Okay, this is the simple additional code you have to add here. First of all, you have to import setup tool, setup and find package. Inside setup, you have to initialize the name of your application, like US Visa. You can define the version. So this is the initial version of my application. That's why I've given 0.0.0. Author, it's me. You can use your name. Okay, here instead of using my name. Author email address, this is my email address, and you have to define this particular find package here. So what this find package will do, it will look for this particular constructor file in every folder, and whenever this particular constructor file is present, it will consider this particular folder as my local package. Okay, now see, if I install this particular requirements, okay, if I install this particular requirements and if I do the pip list again, you will see this particular US Visa would be considered as my local package. Okay, now let me show you. So let me clear and I'll copy this particular command, pip install -r requirement.txt, and now let me install it here. So it may take some time, guys, because it will install all the tools one by one. So let's wait. Once it is done, I will show you. Okay. So in between, let me commit the changes in my GitHub so that you can also do with me. So here I can write requirements. Okay, requirements added. Let me commit and push the changes. Okay, now if I go back to my GitHub and if I refresh, this particular changes is there. Okay, see, all the changes are there. Even all the commands I already shared. You can copy paste from here only. Now see, installation is going on. Let's wait. So installation is going on. So it may take some time. So in between, guys, if you have any query, you can ask me. I'll give all of your response. Let me know. I can see all of your comment, guys. You can let me know if you have any doubt. Unstructured PDF I'm having. Unstructured PDF. There is another library you can use, unstructured PDF loader. Okay. Even also you can use LangChain. Okay. Inside LangChain you are also having PyPDF loader. Krish. Okay. You can also use that one. I can see all of your comments. Okay, still installation is going on. Let's wait. Is there any video you done for it? Not yet. Haven't done any video. But you can check it out. There are so many content, so many blog. Okay, you can check it out. Just search like how to load unstructured PDF documents. Okay, you will get some package actually. There are different packages you can use. How did you know the packages are compatible with the Python version? Because I'm using Python 3.8 and Python 3.8 is the stable version so far launching. Okay, it can support all the packages. That's why. But if you're using latest version of the Python, so some of the package you might get issue. Okay, that's why I'm using Python 3.8. Check it out. There are so many starts like how to unstructured video. Get some package actually. There are different packages. How do packages are compatible with the Python? Because I'm using Python 3.8 and Python 3.8 is the stable one. It can support all the packages. That's why. But if you're using the latest version of the Python, so some of the packages you may get issue. Okay, that's why. I'm using Python 3.8. So too many packages we are installing, and that's why it's taking time. So let's wait. So tomorrow we'll see the MongoDB setup, like how we can set up the MongoDB, and there how we can keep our data, and from the MongoDB itself how we can ingest the data. Okay, so tomorrow we'll try to see this particular part. Apart from that, we'll be trying to cover some more topic. Okay, how did you know Python 3.0 is a stable version? So you can check the Python documentation, official documentation, like there they have already mentioned. Okay, what are the things are stable version and all. See, stable version wise, you can just get to know, let's say, if something is coming in the market. Okay, let's say today they have released, let's say, Python, let's say 3.10. Okay, 3.10 they have released. Let's say after 6 months they will launch another Python called Python 3.11. then they will launch Python 3.12. Okay, now once they launch, okay, so that time actually people are using this particular version, okay, because they're using this particular version long back. So this particular version has become a stable version because all the package can support, because there is a 6 month duration. In the 6 month there are so many resources came in the market, right? Then Python 3.11 came, then Python 3.12 came. Okay, that's how you can consider. At least two version back you can consider it's a three stable version. Will you write the notebook code? Yes, Moro will write the notebook code as well. We'll first of all try to understand the notebook experiment, then we'll try to do the modular coding here. So are you able to install, guys, successfully without any error? You can let me know. I've joined late. I will take everything later and try to follow your channel. I like your way of giving knowledge. Good luck for the futures. Thank you. Thank you, P. Thank you. Yeah, definitely you can follow, because going forward we'll be learning so many things. So definitely it will help you a lot. Okay, because this is a unique content you will get all over the internet, right? Yeah. So these kinds of implementation you will be getting nowhere. So definitely I can give something new to the audience, right? How to make the code lighter? Aren't this image from the Docker which we can use directly? If you how to do it? Aren't there images from the Docker which can use that directly? No, Docker you can't use directly because these are some individual, let's say, package we are installing here. But whenever we need a Docker, that time I'll tell you. Okay, Docker will Dockerize entire this particular application, and that particular image I can use for the deployment. Okay, but initial development phase you have to install everything manually. Which CI/CD tool will be using in this particular project? We'll be using GitHub Action, and going forward, we'll be also learning two more interesting CI/CD tool called Jenkins and Circle CI. Okay, everything we'll be learning. Why don't you using Poetry as an environment instead of Conda? Because I prefer Conda. Okay, sort of. Because see, every developer has their own choice. So personally, I prefer Conda. Okay, that's why. Test case you can implement. It's not I mean, very, complex topic. You can implement test case. What you have to do, you have to only check the test cases. But here we're getting the pipeline, so we'll be doing so many things here. Let's say we'll be using some list of the model. Okay, from the list of the model, we have to select some of the model. Then we have to also do the hyperparameter tuning. Then we have to select the best model. So this particular task will take time, and inside that, if you're doing test case, so your application will be very slow that time, right? That's why we are not using any test case here. You'll get the idea once we implement this particular section. We'll get the idea. Okay, so XGBoost is taking time. It's around 124 MB. I think my connection is slow. So guys, let me know the time. This 8 p.m. IST is fine, or should I conduct this session, I mean, after 8 p.m., like late night? Let me know. Late night is fine, or this time is fine? Which one is suitable for you? 8 p.m. is suitable. Okay. Okay, then I'll try to keep the session 8 p.m. Okay. Uh, yeah, sure, Ransing. Okay, sure. Yeah, sometimes I mean, I may not come regularly because I will have some other work. Okay, but definitely if I'm having free time, guys, because that time I'm usually free, 8 p.m. I'll try to conduct session. Okay, regular basis. I'll try to cover, guys, each and everything. Like, uh, first of all, I have started with end-to-end ML project, right? ML project we are learning. After completing ML, I'll start with the DL project implementation. That means deep learning project. Okay. Then I'll also implement a computer vision project. Then I'll implement the NLP project. Then I'll also implement the GNAI project. Okay, GNAI project. So ML, DL, CB, NLP, GNAI. Apart from that, I don't think like there is any other, right? So if you understand the pipeline of ML, DL, CB, NLP, GNAI, I think you will understand the complete package. Okay, complete package. Yes or no? Okay, and each and every project will be learning some different MLOps tool. Okay, some different MLOps tool. So that's why I kept this particular playlist name as MLOps. Okay, MLOps production ready project. Okay, MLOps production ready project. And whenever we'll do the GNAI project, we'll be trying to use the LLM ops. LLM ops. That means large language model operation. Yeah, interview session I will also try to cover. Like after completing one project, I will try to show you what the documents are required. Okay, and if you are explaining this particular project to the interviewer, so how to explain this particular project. Okay, that thing I will also try to discuss here. Yeah, all in this channel only, Sumit. Okay, so please try to subscribe to my channel, guys. Again, I'm telling, guys, it should be my request, all of you. So please try to subscribe to my channel and share this particular content with your friends and family. So going forward, so many things are coming in this particular channel. Okay, with free of cost, so you don't need to pay anything. Only just try to support my channel. That should be my request. Because I know many of you already know the machine learning. Okay, you know the machine learning. Even you have done so many projects on the Jupyter notebook. Yes or no? Jupyter notebook wise, you already know lots of project. But when it comes to end-to-end implementation, okay, end-to-end implementation, that means modular coding. That time you face difficulty. Okay, that thing I'll just try to clarify. Okay, this is my promise. After completing this particular series, you will become a champion in modular coding. Okay, but Python knowledge is required. That is my request, all of you. Yes, Rizwan Alam. Okay, so it's almost done. XGBoost, I think this is the package. Actually, it takes time. After that, I think it would be done. Let's wait around 1 to 2 minutes. I think it would be done. So, how many are of you are doing with me, guys? Let me know. You are watching from phone or you have watched watching from your system. Uh, because if you're watching from your system, I think that would be pretty good. Because you can practice with me along with me. Okay, so you don't need to go with the recording again. Okay, Alok system, great. Watching from system, coding along, great, Ransing, great, great. Okay, so XGBoost is done almost. Yeah. So okay, again CAD boost is there. Yeah. So XGBoost and CAD boost actually these are separate packages, so it takes time. Usually, it is not available inside scikit-learn. That's the issue. Because if you check out the scikit-learn, na inside scikit-learn actually it's not available. So sklearn, I think sklearn documentation, sklearn. Can you cover the PyTorch? PyTorch I'll be covering in a different project. Inside NLP project I'll be covering Ransing. Okay. Rizwan, great. You can check out my LinkedIn profile. You will get each and every detail about of me, right? From where I have studied and all. You will get each and everything. So it is already available in my YouTube channel description. All the social media link. You can connect me there. Okay. So here is my sorry. Here is the scikit-learn documentation. So here you can see uh, classification wise we are having so many algorithm, but here this one XGBoost and gradient boosting is not there. Okay, so that's why we have to install separately. So you can see that there is a separate package for this XGBoost and cat boost. Okay, we have to install it separately. Can you make a video on Jenkins? We'll be using Jenkins. Okay, in the next project maybe. Bharat, I'm not going to create a separate video of Jenkins. I'll try to integrate in end-to-end project. That is my intention. Because separate things, if I create, that would be a different thing. In between login exception, yes, you can also write the logging exception, but let's keep for the next session, because next session I'm going to discuss in detail the login exception part. So today is the only introduction and project setup part. Okay, so that's why I'm not going to show the logging exception here. See, guys, these are like common step for all the project. Okay, these are the common step for all the project. So make sure you master this particular concept, like how to set up the environment, how to create the development environment, how to create the structure and all. So this thing would be remain common for all the project you will be doing in the future. Okay, so that's why I'm showing in detail everything. Otherwise, I can also skip this part. I can just show you the direct coding. Okay, but I don't want to show you. I want to show you each and everything from scratch so that it would be clear in your mind. So anyone done with the installation here? Maybe my internet connection is a little bit slow, that's why it's taking time. But if anyone done, you can let me know. Which advent of LLM, how would be the landscape, the conventional emulsions? With advent of LLM, how would be the landscape of the conventional emulsions? See, whatever problem actually you can solve with machine learning. So there you don't need to integrate the LLM here, because sometimes ML will work better than your DL. So that should be my suggestion. Okay, so I think most of the setup are done now. Botocore is being installed because it is for the AWS connection. And for the next session, guys, you can keep your eyes in my YouTube channel. So in the live section, so you can see the next schedule I'll be doing. Okay, next session schedule. So please try to just check in this particular section for in the live section, and please try to subscribe so that you can get the notification. Okay, whenever I schedule something and all. So tomorrow at the same time, maybe we can conduct the next session. Okay, the day two part. Yeah. So setup is almost done. So let me show you. Um, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for your great feedback. And I'm expecting, guys, you will be joining the session like regularly. Okay, and I think I can give you something uh, in your career, right? Yeah. Suman, you can revert back and you can see the recording again. I already explained the introduction part of this particular project in detail. Fine. So here we are doing end-to-end MLOps production ready machine learning project called US visa approval prediction. And today is the introduction session. So here we are setting up the project and setting up the environment. Okay, for the next implementation and all. And teaching is the only thing I can do in my entire life, so I'm not going to stop the teaching, guys. So definitely um, um, whether it's through my channel or any other platform, definitely I'll continue teaching. Okay, so no need to worry. So I always like to share my knowledge with others so that you can also get something new, and um, try to explore something from your end also, because exploration is only way you can learn so many things. So try to do exploration as much as you can. There are so many things coming in the market, so don't rely on the mentor. So apart from that also, you just try to explore something, so this will give you the entire knowledge, right? Yeah, thank you, everyone. So it's almost done, so I think it would be done now. The execution still is happening because all the installation is done. Now it is just collecting all the package, right, in the environment. Then I think the execution will be happening. Just a minute. And again, I'm sharing my GitHub repo to all of you. So here I'm updating all of my code. It is slower in git bash compared in command. It's not like that. I think my internet connection is slow today. Okay, that's why. Okay, see, execution is done. Okay, see guys, my execution is done. Now let me clear the terminal. And now if I do the pip list operation, now you'll see that all the package has been installed. And here US visa is also installed as my package, and it is my local package. You can see it is coming from the local folder. That is what I just wanted to show you. Okay, that is what I just wanted to show you. Now US visa has been installed as my local package. Okay, that's why I have installed this particular setup.py with the help of this particular command -e space dot. I think this part is clear right now. Hmm. Yeah, tomorrow we have a session, not yesterday. Hmm. Okay, so now I think we are done, guys. Now I think I've already committed my code in my GitHub. You can check it out. And please try to practice in your system. Try to clone this particular repository. So here is the link I have given in the chat. You can clone this particular repo. You can set up everything in your system and you can try. So in the next class, I'll try to show you the MongoDB setup, the data ingestion part, how we can do from the MongoDB itself, right? And we'll be learning some more topic, okay? So yes, guys, I think this is all from today's session. I hope you like this particular entire session. Let me know, guys. How was the session? How was the session? Did you enjoy it? And are you able to learn some new topic? Yes or no? Let me know, guys. Yeah. Next session is tomorrow, so you can check this particular live section. So here I will give the schedule. Okay, so you can see the date and time from here. Sajid. Okay. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining this particular session. And please try to subscribe to my channel and try to share this particular content with your friends and family. With that, guys, bye everyone. Good night. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good night.